Hello, NFI. It is Thursday, the 20th of February 2020. A while ago, I was looking for pictures for the 5 love languages. Couldn't find any, but instead I found this. I guess it's not a chart, but it's a list, which was attached in an article about relationship anarchy, which I had not heard of before. Yeah, I found it really interesting. I mean, I guess our theme is love, and I guess technically not all of these are love, unless you want to count the love for a project, I guess. But yeah, I found it really interesting because, I guess, romantic love or romantic relationships, yeah, those, what friendships are, I guess domestic relationships, you're just, sharing a house. Sexual relationships, pretty self-explanatory. Physical touch, also, yeah. Life partner, sure. Caregiver, makes sense. But then, for example, like co-caregiver is something I hadn't thought of before, but I guess, if you're taking care of something or someone with another person, I imagine that, that's kind of a very special relationship as well. Like, you need to trust that other person as well, like to take care of your kids or plants or pets or whatever, which, yeah, that's just not something I thought of before. To be fair, I'm not sure if I've ever been in that situation, but yeah, that's cool. Emotional intimacy, sharing and being vulnerable. I guess that's also duh. But I think I always kind of saw that attached to within the friendship. But obviously, friendships, as the chart kind of says, it can just be being playful and having a shared interest. And then there's emotional support, which I guess is kind of the opposite, or not opposite, but the matching part to emotional intimacy. On one hand, you kind of have the sharing of yourself, and then on the other, you have the kind of being shared with, or being there for support. And social partners, which I guess for a lot of relationships that's included as well. But I guess it does, it is very, you could have a friend who you're never seen with in public, or I don't know, and I guess that does change how your relationship dynamic works. Or you could just, hang out with someone just to show them off in public. I don't know. But yeah, that's also an interesting thing I hadn't thought of before. Very financial, obviously. I guess now we're getting into the bit that isn't so much related to love, maybe. But yeah, I guess you still need to be able to trust each other. More on a sensible sort of level, less emotional maybe. Kink, which also, I guess, self-explanatory, but I guess they're also, I guess a lot of these are kind of varying levels, or varying types of trust, pretty much. power dynamics, which I guess like happen all the time everywhere, which is, yeah, I guess in most cases the power dynamics kind of combine with something else. You could be parent and child, I guess. So you've got the caregiver situation, maybe domestic as well, and then you have a power dynamic there as well. Or if you're working together, you've got the power dynamic between bosses and employees, or maybe like colleagues of different ranks as well. Collaborative partners, like that one, like it makes sense. Like I always just thought of like oh yeah, that's colleague, but I guess it's the what kind of gets you together is, it's not, I mean, I guess it's kind of the relationship between you, but it's also like the relationship you have to the project. So if you care for the project, it's kind of the love for the project that keeps you together. But then you could also say that's would fall into the friendship because you have a shared activity or interest, which, I mean, then again, most people just go to work to get paid and don't really care what they do. I don't know. Yeah, and then there's business partners, which is a combination of collaborative, financial, and social, which makes sense. Although I do wonder if you could be a business partner without those. I guess you could be a business partner without being social. If you keep your business quiet and secret and stuff, I guess that would be less social then. But yeah, it's like it's kind of interesting to think of, because most of the time we just have a friend, and that includes all sorts of different parts of this chart. But it's kind of interesting to like kind of split them up and then look at them, because every friendship's different. There might be friendships where you literally just hang out, and then there's friendships where you have a lot of emotional intimacy and support, or maybe your roommates or housemates or whatever, yeah, it's kind of interesting to think of all the different things in our relationships, and I guess the thing that kind of keeps all of these together isn't love, because you've got the financial stuff in there as well, but it's trust, which, I mean, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, I keep forgetting to look up who I'm going to see. And Brendan, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.